The doctor is in. Call now with your questions at 813-282-8283. That's 813-282-8283. Here's your host, Dr. Michael Lange.
Okay, good morning and welcome to Ask the Doctor, or I should say Ask the Doctors. I'm Dr. Michael Lange and my co-host, Dr. Susan Summerton. We're both here live to answer any and all questions you may have regarding your vision, eye care, or a nutritionally related topic. So please don't be shy. Pick up the phones and give us a call. This is a live call-in show. We're actually coast to coast on the Ask the Doctor network. So from California to Florida, up to Pennsylvania, and everywhere in between. We're also live video streaming all over the world on a multitude of social media channels and a lot of podcast channels throughout this nation and globally. So it's actually good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, just depending on what part of the globe you're actually listening or watching. So the live call-in number is 813-282-8283. That is 813-282-8283. If you're new to the program, who's that? Dr. Michael Lange. I am a board-certified optometric physician, certified nutritional specialist, the founder of Lange Eye Care and Associates and the Lange Eye Institute, and also the founder and formulator of the Fortifeye Vitamin line. And Dr. Susan Summerton is also a certified optometric physician, a certified nutrition specialist, and she's also a diplomat and a fellow in the nutritional arena as well. So she is an asset not only at the Lange Eye Institute, but also on Ask the Doctor. And I'm going to take this opportunity to say good morning to Dr. Summerton. Good morning, Dr. Summerton.
Good morning, Dr. Lange, and good morning to all our listeners out there. Looking forward to another great show today. I'm actually enjoying the call up here near Kings Bay, Georgia, where I'm visiting my son. He's a nuclear engineer in the Navy here, so proud of him for getting his fish pin and enjoying some family time for this weekend.
Wow, that's a lot of fun. Family time is the best time. So, and you're coming in loud and clear from Georgia. It's amazing technology, isn't it? All right. So let me just first get off my chest. Go Tulane. I'm not wearing my Tulane jersey. I didn't have time to get dressed with it, but go Tulane. They're playing Army today. So a shout out to my daughter Mackenzie at Tulane in New Orleans and all of her friends. Go Tulane. Tulane's got a pretty good team this year. We'll see how they do. Also, the Ocala Health and Wellness Expo is underway. I think it starts at 10 o'clock this morning, 10 to 3. So everybody that's in the area of Ocala, Gainesville, the villages, heck, you can drive down from Tampa, Sarasota. It's a big event. It's the Ocala Health and Wellness Expo, and it's at the World Equestrian Center. That's a pretty amazing place. The World Equestrian Center in Ocala starts at 10 to 3. It's free to the public. Fortifeye Vitamins is one of the sponsors. We'll be there. I think Tasha and Mary will be there. And I will be there about noon, good Lord willing. So after the show, I'm going to get in the vehicle and truck on up, head north on 75 to Ocala. So I'll get there about noon, maybe a little afternoon, but I'll be there until 3. So you want to come out to the booth, the Fortifeye Vitamin booth, and pick my brain on nutrition, then we'd love to see you. Also, remember, October 25th, that's next Saturday, I'll be at the Fortifeye Nutrition Center in Clearwater. The Fortifeye Nutrition Center right on McMullen Booth Road and the Bayside Bridge Plaza next to Publix. They are open today until 3. So I'll be at the Fortifeye Nutrition Center on October 25th, about 1 o'clock, 1 to 3 for 2 hours. Maybe I'll get there at noon. We'll have to see how my mood is. All right. We got a lot to talk about. We're going to take some calls in just a second. But before we take the first call, I want to mention that we do now have available the new Fortifeye Creatine myHMB vitamin D supplement. It's unflavored. It's in the right size jug this time. We have thousands of them available at the Lange Nutrition Center, the Lange Eye Institute, Fortifeye Nutrition. Also, you can get them at fortifeye.com. Remember, Dr. Summerton and I have talked about creatine and myHMB and vitamin D for some time now, and it is available. You can go to the website at fortifeye.com, go to sports nutrition or muscle building, and you can order the creatine, myHMB, and vitamin D. And, you know, Dr. Summerton, we talk a lot about creatine, and the reason for it, it really has some benefits for the young, the old, and the really old, doesn't it?
It does, and it's not just for the gym. There's plenty of benefits outside the gym. And we do get it in our diet, but it is harder to get in our diet, and we do store some of it in our body. But again, we have to find a way to add it. I mean, you can get it from eating meat and fish, a little bit from milk. Sardines are actually pretty high in creatine. But when they look at our diets, none of us are getting enough. And actually, I want to mention, especially women. Women tend to consume less dietary creatine than men. And we not only need it for our muscles, but we need it for our brain. That's what gives our energy. It helps with our mood, and it just helps with our overall lifespan throughout from the young to the old.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I think that's my so creatine is actually amazing. And as a matter of fact, this morning, my brother and I got up and worked out back this morning, and my brother went for a walk. He's not supposed to be exercising because he had his surgery for the melanoma, but it's turned out pretty good. But he was out walking, and I said, "You can't be getting sun." But he's trying to justify everything. He says, "Look, I'm walking out in the red light, so I'm not getting UV light." That's true. So, but for this morning for breakfast, we actually had the Pure Creatine myHMB, vitamin D, a scoop of that, a scoop of the chocolate rejuvenate, and a scoop of the unflavored whey protein isolate. Because remember, whey protein is fast acting. We're breaking the fast. So we're having the whey protein isolate with the rejuvenate and the unflavored creatine. That was what we had for breakfast. That's what he had for breakfast. I had for breakfast. And now I'm pretty hungry. I'd like to have a stack of pancakes, believe it or not, but I didn't have that. All right. We're going to talk today a little bit about recently, Consumer Reports had published an article. I've been getting a lot of people asking me about this lead that is in protein powders. Well, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about how it's coming from the Chinese protein powders. And we're going to talk a lot more about that in detail. But that's one of the reasons we worked for years on our Fortifeye Vegan Super Protein. So we didn't have anything sourced from China, so we wouldn't have these impurities, specifically lead, cadmium, and arsenic. But we're going to talk more about that in a few minutes. Let's go to the phones. Let's see who caller number one is. I think it's Steve in Clearwater. Steve, good morning. Welcome to the program.
Yes, on the last program, right to the end, you couldn't answer a question for the gentleman that was just at the last because time had run out. Do you remember what it was about?
Nope.
Okay, he was asking about fat-soluble vitamin C. You remember that? I
Right.
think his name was Andy. Well, the best is it's called ascorbyl palmitate,
Right.
and it can go into the body very good, and it does pass through the blood-brain barrier. Some of it you lose a little bit in the digestive system because the palmic acid, it's cleaved off by lipostatic enzymes. But anyway, it does work very well. It's more penetrable to the blood-brain barrier, and yeah, it's a very good antioxidant. And I see no reason if you might correct me on this, but I see no reason why he can't take that. I think that would be fine.
Right. It's a fat soluble form of vitamin C. The cost is up a little bit higher than the water soluble form. And the whole idea behind that is it's more of a delayed release. It's not a quick release. If you take the water soluble form of vitamin C, you have to take it frequently during the day, to get, saturation in your blood. And that's one of the reasons we developed the next gen vitamin C, because it's in time released liposomal beadlets that takes it a little longer to absorb, 8 hours to be exact. So yeah, that's not the fat soluble vitamin C isn't that popular because it's a little bit more expensive. And I haven't looked into that much. I'm glad you brought that up because I want to research it a little bit more. I want to find out where it's coming from, the country of origin, because most vitamin C out there, the country of origin is China. And so that's why we use liposomal vitamin C called pure whey vitamin C in our rejuvenate, because it comes from the United States. And then QC comes from Scotland. And then there is a really good vitamin C that comes from India as well. So you got to be careful. We're going to talk more about that in just a few minutes, though.
Yeah, and there's one thing about synthetic vitamin E that I've never realized. It's definitely better to take natural vitamin E. There's no question about it. However, if you take a lot of, we talk about antioxidants in food, but some plants have oxidants too,
Right.
and they can be oxidizing. We hardly ever hear about that, but certain foods have oxidants instead of antioxidants. And if you take synthetic vitamin E, synthetic vitamin E is tocopherol, YL instead of OL. It will not be affected by those oxidants, and it will go into the bloodstream, and then that liver will convert it to a regular natural vitamin E. But what's interesting to note is that that's the one advantage of synthetic vitamin E, is that it will survive oxidants in the digestive tract. More than, like, if you take chlorinated water with natural vitamin E, it'll oxidize it in the stomach. But if you take it with synthetic, it won't, because that succinate that's bonded to it will block that oxidation process. So there's sometimes things are better we don't realize.
Yep, that's true.
Yeah.
Things that make you go, Steve, thanks for the call.
Okay, mate. I got it done in 3 minutes again.
Yes, you did. I'm proud of you. You have a good one. All right, you're listening to Ask the Doctors. Dr. Susan Summerton and myself, Dr. Michael Lange. Give us a call at 813-282-8283. That's 813-282-8283. We're going back to the phones. Let's go to, I think it's Victor and Bradenton. Victor, good morning. Welcome to the program.
Good morning.
What can we do for you?
I was power washing my lanai, and some debris went into my eye, and I ripped my arachnia, I think it's called, and I had some laser done, but I still have a lot of floaters and kind of a little bit of gray spots all over. I don't know if you recommend how long I should wait to see the doctor again.
All right. When did you said something flew in your eye on the lanai?
Yes, I was power washing, and something flew into my eye and cut my arachnia. Arachnia, I think that's how you say it.
Probably your cornea. How long ago did this happen?
This happened about 3 weeks ago, so I had some laser done on it.
Oh,
The
okay.
doctor said it took really well, but I still have quite a bit of floaters, and you know the little black dot in your eye?
Right.
It looks like it's almost double. When I take a picture of it, it looks like there's almost like a number 8. Like there's 2 of them instead of 1.
Right. So let me ask you this, Victor, do you think you have more floaters in your vision now than when it occurred since you've seen your doctor?
Yes.
Yeah, I think that then to err on the side of caution, you probably want to get back in to see the retina doctor that did the procedure, that did the laser, or whoever did the laser, and let him know or let her know that. Because anytime you have new floaters, oftentimes it's benign and nothing to be concerned about, but sometimes it can be a telltale sign that you have a retinal tear or something going on in there. Let me.
No.
Have any segments of your vision missing?
No.
Yeah, so you're probably okay to wait until Monday, but you could always call our after hours number and have one of them call you, whoever your doctor is, and they can kind of determine whether or not they want to see you immediately or if it can wait till Monday. It probably can, but it's always best to err on the side of caution. I'd recommend getting in, having your eyes dilated, even having an optomap done, just to make sure that it's not something potentially problematic, okay?
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
Take care, Victor. So Dr. Summerton, when he said he was out in the lanai, he got something in his eye, I was thinking maybe corneal, but it was retina. That must have been like a bald eagle, huh?
Right. It must have been something that impacted the eye to cause, it sounds like he got a retina tear, which
Right.
that's when we do see floaters. We want to check our retina to make sure that happened. Or it may just have been coincidental, and that's when he noticed it more. But anytime, any of our listeners out there, if you notice a sudden increase in the floaters in your eye, and if you don't know what floaters are, it probably means you don't have them. Because if you ever had floaters in your eye, you'll immediately recognize there's an issue. But we see patients without symptoms like that, which is why we recommend the dilation and a retina scan every time they come in, because even just yesterday, I had just a routine eye exam, and we were checking her retina, and she had just a little retina hole there that was starting. So it always is good to get that dilation in the retina scan.
Absolutely. And remember, if you haven't seen your eye doctor, whether it's your optometrist, optometric physician, or ophthalmologist, recently it's a good idea to get in. An eye exam may not only be vision saving, ultimately, it could be life saving. So when we're looking at the eye, we're looking at the vascular system for all sorts of potential problems, hypertensive vascular problems, diabetes, pending strokes can oftentimes show up in the eye. Some of the first signs of neurodegenerative diseases like dementia, believe it or not, can show up in the eye. Even things like sexually transmitted diseases, even autoimmune diseases, things like arthritis and lupus and sarcoid can show up in the eye. So you can see clearly now that it's a good idea to get in and see your eye doctor and always have your eyes dilated. Also, it's not a bad idea to find a practitioner that has an optomap. Usually they charge you about $30, $40 for an optomap. It's really good money spent because the optomap lets the doctor see everything in the back of the retina much more efficiently than after you dilate, where they put that big headlight on their head and lay you back and look all around the eye with a bright light. So nothing wrong with paying a little extra for what we call an optomap. It's one of the best diagnostic tools, and it's very easy on you, the patient. All right, we're getting ready to take a call in just a second here. I do want to mention the the fifth prototype of Fortifeye Fit Meal came in yesterday. I tried it. My brother tried it. My mom tried it. Ken tried it. He's a guy that works in my house. And Shay over at Fortifeye Vitamins tried it. We all loved it. It was the chocolate flavor. The vanilla flavor will be in next week. So we're going to manufacturing, hallelujah, finally, of the Fit Meal. And I'm bringing some for Dr. Summerton to try next week. And I'll bring some for the gang to try at the Fit Expo this afternoon. So remember, this is a combination of grass-fed whey protein, 25 grams, a certain fiber, 3-to-1 ratio of soluble to insoluble fiber to improve digestive and gut health. We got 4 fat burners in it that are non-stimulant, probiotics, prebiotics, postbiotics, and enzymes. We got about 30 different all certified organic fruits and vegetables and extracts. None of this is coming from China. Remember, it took us 2 years now to develop this, or actually probably, more than about 2 years to develop this, trying to search for things that do not come from China. So everything's coming from America, Canada, New Zealand, and I think some of the stuff is from Denmark or Sweden as well. So hopefully we go to manufacturing. We're going to have it in a few months. Remember, this is a meal replacement, unlike anything on the market. It's going to help those of you that are overweight get down to your ideal body weight, especially when combined with maybe the Lange survival diet for your other 2 meals and an exercise plan. So maybe you don't have to get on a drug. So it's coming out soon. Dr. Summerton, I want to thank her. She's been a big help helping with the development of it and the taste testing of it all, and the entire staff over at Fortifeye and Lange Eye Institute. All right, let's go to the phones. Mark in Branford. Mark, good morning. Thanks for holding.
Good morning, Dr. Lange and Dr. Summerton. I'm that guy who called a couple of months ago with the giant, beautiful 3 Louisiana and New Orleans postcards, but I listen as much as I can. I just wanted to ask a general question. I just wanted to ask, what are a basic short list of supplements that we should be eating for eye health? I know about lutein and tomatoes and things like that, but can you just share, so I can list them down, because sometimes I'm not always able to list things.
Yeah, so the lycopene is not really good or bad for the eye. It's an antioxidant, but I wouldn't call lycopene a big one for the eye.
No,
but
I said lutein.
Okay, all right. So lutein is for sure. Lutein it comes from dark green leafy vegetables and eggs and pistachios. Lutein is very important, and usually you want to start with 10 milligrams of lutein, and then zeaxanthin. Zeaxanthin is very important. This is also a carotenoid in the xanthophyll family that comes from orange bell peppers, also some eggs, and goji berries. I love astaxanthin. It's what gives wild Alaskan salmon its orange color. All right.
Okay. Hang on. I'm just nodding. So why orange bell peppers versus just normal?
Yeah, so during the ripening phase, when they turn orange, it's the highest amount of this zeaxanthin. Green doesn't have hardly any. Red has a little bit, but orange and yellow has the most amount of the zeaxanthin due to the ripening phase. So that's a
Yeah.
good question. I'd have to
And
ask
you
God
said
why.
goji berries and astaxanthin. Did
Yeah.
you say that next?
Yeah, goji berries are high in the zeaxanthin, but astaxanthin is high in wild Alaskan salmon. And when you think about it, the lion's share of the public probably isn't that deficient in lutein and zeaxanthin because we eat eggs, we eat pistachios, we eat greens, we eat orange bell peppers. But how many eat wild Alaskan salmon? Dr. Summerton, did you have wild Alaskan salmon today or yesterday?
I didn't have it today, yesterday, but I have the benefit. My husband goes to Alaska once a year and brings back a freezer full. So we do enjoy the benefits of wild Alaskan salmon often.
Is sockeye salmon considered wild Alaska salmon?
Yeah, as long as it says wild caught on it, because there's lots of salmon that are farm raised, and you don't want to have farm raised salmon because they're not really getting the astaxanthin. They're eating stuff that has basically orange dye in it. Some of these farms are putting astaxanthin, but the majority don't. So you just want to
Okay.
make sure it says wild caught on it. It doesn't have to be sockeye. It can be any form of salmon as long as it's wild caught.
Okay, and any other things besides the things you shared already?
Yep. So lutein, zeaxanthin, astaxanthin. I like saffron for the eye.
Oh,
Saffron is
you mean like the spice?
Yep, the spice saffron. All right. And then we're
Okay.
talking about spices, the spice turmeric or curcumin. All right.
Oh yeah. Oh
Those
yeah,
are
I have
also
that too.
great. They help reduce inflammation in the eye, dry eye symptomology, even reduce drusen, which are, the precursor of macular degeneration. And then we have things like bilberry. All right. Bilberries.
Bilberry, like BIL?
Yeah, bilberry is a European blueberry.
Okay.
I think that's very good. And then there's a combination of when you take pine bark extract
Oh yeah, I use that
and
too.
bilberry, it can actually lower intraocular pressure in your eye. And then you want to also be taking enough B complex, and C and D and things of that nature. You don't want to be vitamin D deficient because that increases your risk of many other diseases. Dr. Summerton used to teach these classes as a professor. Dr. Summerton, I want you to chime in on it because this is certainly your area of expertise.
Well, and I know you didn't mean to miss this out because I know this is like your ultimate favorite supplement, omega-3 fish oil. And I would say that's probably every patient that comes in. It's really hard to find someone that doesn't need that, not only for the eyes, but the overall brain health and heart health. But we were talking about the retina and the back of the eye, and that photoreceptor layer in the retina, the back of your eye. That's one of the richest sources of DHA. And that DHA is what is found in omega-3 fish oil. And we've been talking about quality and sourcing. That is probably a number one vitamin that you've got to spend a little bit of extra money on to make sure you're getting triglyceride form, TG form. That's the natural form that's found in fish and the most absorbable form. We want to stay away from ethyl ester form. And another number one supplement that you talked about to make it easy for everybody is the Focus Fortified supplement. That has all three. It has the lutein, the zeaxanthin, and the astaxanthin. And that's a really great just foundation for eye health and brain health because anything that makes it to the eye has to pass through the brain first. So we have the benefit, whatever we're recommending for the eye also helps the brain.
Yeah, can you just repeat the name of that last one you shared, Dr. Summerton?
That was the Fortifeye Focus.
Oh, Fortifeye Focus. And then Dr. Lange, is bilberry actual berries or is it a supplement?
Yeah, so bilberry, you're going to get it. It's going to be hard to find unless you're in England. You can eat organic blueberries, all right? That's similar to bilberries, but the bilberry is in a concentrated extract in a supplement. And,
okay.
all of the things we mentioned is in our Fortifeye Complete Advanced Nutrition.
Fortifeye Complete?
Yeah, Fortifeye Complete has it all. I mean, it has all the vitamins for your daily, total body health as well as eye health. Fortifeye Focus is also great. And of course, the Super Omega, that's kind of the triple whammy of anti-aging of the eye and the body. You take the Super Omega, the Fortifeye Focus, and the Fortifeye Complete. That's in my regimen of supplements that I take on a daily basis.
And finally, can you share your website again so I can go look?
Absolutely. So it's fortifeye.com. It's a play
I
on
got it,
words.
yeah.
Remember, we're eye doctors. So Fortifeye is Fortifeye. So Fortifeye, Fortifeye, fortifeye.com. And if you
Yep.
click on any of the vitamins, there's a science section. So you can look and see why we developed something, why we put nutrients in it, why we didn't put nutrients in it at the science section. And then if you're really going to get into it, you might as well, on the same website, you go up to the top where those bars are and you click on, I think it's About Us. And then it takes you to a blog section. And it also takes you to the Lange Wellness and Longevity Plan. And you
I
can
see.
click on the Lange Wellness and Longevity Plan. And it's pretty detailed. It goes over a diet I created. It tells you what to eat, what not to eat. It talks about the supplements, exercise, hydration, sleep, everything that Dr. Summerton and I preach to our patients on this program, all
Yeah.
in one article.
And didn't you say you walk an hour each morning?
What did you say?
Did you say you walk an hour each morning?
No, I don't walk an hour each morning. My brother probably does. I do cardio, though. I probably do 20 minutes of intense cardio in the morning and then a little bit more. So maybe sometimes on the weekends, definitely on my days off, I get over an hour of cardio for sure. And then I usually get an hour of weightlifting as well.
Okay, I want to respect your time, and I appreciate you answering my long list of questions, Dr. Lange and Dr. Summerton.
All right, Mark, thanks for the call. You have a great day.
Thanks.
All right. You're listening to Ask the Doctors. Give us a call at 813-282-8283. 813-282-8283. I think we're going to get a toll-free number soon, something like 1-800-ASK-THE-DOCTOR. We'll have to figure that out because we used to get a lot of calls from all the other places, Arizona and California, but now they think they're going to be charged an arm and a leg when they call this number, and you really don't. I think it's free if you have a cell phone. So it's really a toll-free number. You can call us. So anybody in Arizona that's listening, call us and let us know if we're coming in loud and clear, or, up in Chicago, New Orleans, any places like that. Give us a call at 813-282-8283. We're ready to take those calls and try to help you. Remember, anything that we talk about in this program, Dr. Summerton and myself, is for educational purposes only. It never replaces a comprehensive eye evaluation or a medical evaluation. Also, I see somebody chiming in on my Instagram. It's a little from me, but I can see they're asking Dr. Lange, what was the Vitality Bundle? ? Please explain that. Where can we look at it? And what was the real name? You discussed it a few weeks ago. Aha. So that is something called the Fortifeye Strength and Vitality Bundle. Fortifeye Strength and Vitality Bundle. It should be up on your screen right now as we talk. If you're watching us on Restream on a lot of social medias, it's on all social medias right now except my personal one, Dr. Michael Lange _ on Instagram. But it is on Fortifeye Vitamins on Instagram right now. No, it might not be on that one either. Oh, yeah, it is. It is. AJ just announced it is. So the Fortifeye Strength and Vitality Bundle is $106. And what it does, it has our Fortifeye Super Vegan Protein, all right? It has our Rejuvenate and the new Creatine, HMB, and Vitamin D. So if you're looking for an all-in-one daily nutrition solution to boost your energy, to support muscle tone, to promote really radiant, healthy skin, hair, and nails, keep your joints really healthy, to encourage vivacious or vibrant aging, this is, the best we got. It's called Fortifeye Strength and Vitality Bundle. It's $106, but that's a pretty good deal considering you're getting the vegan super protein and you can pick which flavor you want. Rejuvenate, you can pick which flavor you want. And the Creatine, HMB, Vitamin D. And Dr. Summit has got me using this a lot more since she had a little bit of a break from whey. I think you use this combination also, don't you?
I do. I actually use it every single day. I have some before I go work out and after I work out. And right now, I'm definitely on the salted caramel mocha kick. I just love that flavor. And I tend to have it in the morning. So that kind of mocha flavor is a great time, a great way to wake up and start my day. So it's also delicious. And I don't go fancy, I just mix it with water. I put all three of those things together, the salted caramel vegan super protein, the rejuvenate. I use just the unflavored, and then I put a scoop of our new creatine my HMB in with it, and I just shake it in my little shaker with water, and I'm good to go.
Yep, and we're still running a deal, and we're probably going to run it for another week, maybe a little longer, just depending on inventory. But when you buy one of the Fortifeye Vegan Super Proteins, and salted caramel mocha is my favorite too, but I think I told you about it 3 weeks ago or a month ago that we ordered too much of it, and we got a lot of it. So we're running a 50% off deal. Listen up, but you have to buy one vegan protein, then you can get 50% off the vegan caramel. So if you buy a vegan protein, vanilla, chocolate, or salted caramel, write this code down. It's vegan caramel 50. Vegan caramel 50. And you buy one vegan protein at regular price. You put that code in at checkout. There's a special code section. You're going to get 50% off the vegan caramel, and we'll send that to you automatically at 50% off and no charge for shipping. So that's something to think about. And if you want to have the whole kit and caboodle, then the triple whammy of anti-aging is called Fortifeye Strength and Vitality Bundle. And if you're a vegan, it's almost completely vegan. So if you're pescatarian, it's perfect. If you're vegetarian, you can do it. But if you're a vegan, there is in the Rejuvenate a marine collagen tripeptide. So that is not considered vegan, but it is a tripeptide. It absorbs about 10 times quicker than a peptide. So for most of us, the Fortifeye Strength and Vitality Bundle is going to be a great deal. All right, we're going to open up the phone lines, and we got some people on hold. If you got a question, give us a call at 813-282-8283. Also, you can check everything out on the website at fortifeye.com. And if you'd like to see Dr. Summerton as your eye doctor and nutrition guru, or Dr. Lori Caputi or myself, Dr. Lange, at the Lange Eye Institute in the Villages, you can learn more at langeyecare.com, langeyecare.com, or my name, drmichaellange.com, DR, no period after it, so drmichaellange.com. And the phone number for the Lange Eye Institute, I'll give it to you twice, and we're in the Villages, so it's just a hop, skip, and a jump from wherever you are in Florida. It's 352-753-4014. That's 352-753-4014. And before we take the next call, I want to warm everybody up. Put this on your calendar. We're going to throw a big shindig, a Cajun style Mardi Gras festival at the Lange Eye Institute in the Villages on February 21st. That's a Saturday. Mark your calendar. We're going to have a Cajun chef making jambalaya and crawfish etouffee. We're going to have some king cake. We're going to have pralines. New Orleans boy, Nola boy, is going to make us a big old batch of pralines. And we're going to have beads and doubloons, and we're going to have a lot of fun, a big festival. Lange Eye Institute, February 21st, Mardi Gras in the Villages. So put that on your calendar. All right, we're going to go to the phones. Let's go to David in Clearwater. David, thanks for holding. Good morning.
Hi, Dr. Lange and Dr. Summerton. Thank you. You know, doctors, about like this new neuroprotective supplements and nootropic agents. I had little information about that several years ago, and I just want to ask your. I was going to make a comment. Like, there's a supplement called Huperzine A, Huperzine A. It's pretty wild, 0.2 milligrams, 200 micrograms. I took it. I started taking it. The reason being is that one of my kids has epilepsy, and I was hoping to help her as she gets into her adulthood, to help her brain, protect her brain a bit, because she has that intractable kind that doesn't really, you know, completely stop the seizures, but
Right.
they they definitely help the frequency, intensity. So she is on a regimen of any epileptic drugs. So anyway, this huperzine I read in PubMed has some properties to neuroprotect. So I took it. I took it this week, and I have to tell you, Dr. Lang, it was really interesting. It says take up to 4 times a day, I believe, something like that. And I took it. I took this very small amount. I took one in the morning, and I did my day, and it was, pretty. I had a pretty good day. I have a pretty good life. So, solving problems and doing things. And then I said, let me take it at like around 10 p.m. So I took it at 10 at night, and I only slept an hour that night. It was like, wow. And it was like so many dreams and so many vivid activities in my mind. It's like, what the hell is going on here? So I took it yesterday during the day, and I don't have the courage to take it at night anymore. It's very interesting. I think there may be, I know it's N equals 1, but it's really interesting how this is sort of I think they call it an alkaloid. It's kind of like in the caffeine, tobacco, nicotine sort of realm. These multiple rings of molecules. And it allegedly crosses the blood-brain barrier rather effectively, which is really interesting too. And I believe the pharmaceutical usage is like a half a milligram roughly is the prescription dose of it, quote unquote, for various for all Alzheimer's and etc. But the supplement is 0.2 milligrams. So I just it's a big question, Dr. Lane, but I was just wondering like what your thoughts are about these neuroprotective agents, these nootropic agents, and possibly if you've ever worked with the huperzine molecule.
I'm gonna let Dr. Summerton chime in on that in a minute because she might know a lot more about that particular one than I do. I mean, the neuroprotectants that I work with, it's kind of interesting. I'm going to dive into the research on that. But the ones that I'm much more familiar with are cognizine, which is a patented trademark form of citicoline, and then of course Numintix, which is really relatively new. Numintix is a trademark form of a spearmint extract that actually has been shown to have neuroprotective properties as well. And I have had my mother on both of these, and I tell a lot of people this. She's knocking on 98, and she had full-blown dementia 7-8 years ago, and now you would not have any idea. If you talk to her, you wouldn't have any idea that she has any cognitive decline at all. And the only thing is different is I've put her on those 2 neurotropics. Her diet has stayed the same. All the supplements have stayed the same. I've just added Fortifeye Focus and Brain and Fortifeye Eye Pressure and Neurocognitive Support. And I take both of those too, so I can hopefully stay cognitively in tune until I'm really old. But Dr. Summerton, like I said, she's been a professor in nutrition, and she might know more about that particular neurotropic that you're talking about than I do. Dr. Summerton, you want to chime in? You got anything?
And we're definitely on the right track. That huperzine A works actually much better with the citicoline that you're talking about. They work on the same pathways, but kind of at the opposite end. So the huperzine A helps preserve the acetylcholine, and what we're talking about with that's a brain neurotransmitter that's good for learning and focus and muscle control. So it's going to help preserve that. But what you want to do is make sure you kind of have the raw material to make it. And that's where the citicoline comes into play. So you need the citicoline as a foundation to make that more acetylcholine. And then you get it in your brain kind of membranes there. And the huperzine A will help keep that acetylcholine active longer. So that's what he's talking about, why he couldn't sleep, because it gives that lasting thing. So if you think of huperzine A is kind of like the short-term memory, and citicoline is like long-term memory, and just working well together.
Oh, doctors, how do you boost your acetylcholine? Is that what you have any suggestions about that?
Dr. Summer?
That's with the supplement citicoline that we're talking about, how you mentioned
Oh,
the
okay.
focus and brain. So we have the supplement focus, and then we have the supplement focus and brain. And the and brain mean it has the added citicoline in it.
Oh, okay. So interesting. Wow, that's really cool. Thank you for that perspective. Really, this is quite. It's really. I know a little bit about chemistry. These acetylcholine, right, is those nerve gases that they used in World War I and II. They make the acetyl. They block acetylcholine, I believe, or something to that effect, and then people died from nerve gas. So I read that the huperzine molecule, I hope I'm right here, was able to protect against the nerve gas. Isn't that interesting? And
that is interesting.
Yeah, and because it protects the acetylcholine from getting impacted by these types of agents. So no, it's just kind of a cool thing. I never really ever had an effect like that. That was quite remarkable. That I wasn't. If you ever want to stay up all night, and this could be the thing. I swear to gosh, I think I read like a rather lengthy textbook too in the middle of the night. I couldn't fall asleep. So
I think,
funny.
David, I think somebody's slipping some of that huperzine into my supper probably, because I'm probably one of the biggest sleep deprived people you're ever going to meet. Like last night, I think I slept maybe 25 minutes, so my mind is always going so fast. I got plenty of huperzine in me, but I think I'm going to add that huperzine to my bunker, my bomb shelter, my fallout shelter. Have some of that for nerve gas.
You might be right. It's something about that stuff. Wow. So it's lovely to speak. I made some nice notes too about your supplements and all. So thank you very much. Have a nice weekend, folks. Thank you.
Thanks for the call.
Thanks for calling. I did want to add, we're talking about nootropics, and that's basically things that help the brain. And what we talk about all the time, omega-3, fish oil, that's a nootropic, and creatine is actually a nootropic. So we do have many natural sources of getting those good agents to help our brain memory and just long-term health.
Yep, and those are definitely two of the supplements we recommend to everybody and anybody, family, patients, friends, listeners, is our Fortifeye Super Omega. If you're looking for an omega-3, make sure it's reesterified triglyceride form or triglyceride form. So on the bottle, make sure it says either RTG form or TG form. If it doesn't, like Dr. Summerton mentioned, it's ethyl ester molecule that's got ethanol attached to it. So creatine also, make sure it says CreaPure creatine. If it doesn't say CreaPure creatine on it, then you know where it's made. Country of origin is China. And I got a lot of backslash last week from me saying that. People were chiming in and texting me and emailing me and going on social media saying you shouldn't talk about what you don't know, because I've got a creatine that says right here, made in the United States. Well, I do know what I'm talking about, or otherwise I wouldn't talk about it. So creatine, if it says on the bottle made in the United States, that means they bottled it in the United States. But where did they get the supplements from? Where did they get the creatine from? If it doesn't say CreaPure on it, they got it from China. India doesn't even make it right now. South America doesn't make it. Africa doesn't make it. China makes all the creatine monohydrate, and all the fancy forms of creatine. German CreaPure creatine and Creavitalis are the only two that are not made in China. So if it says made in the USA and it's got creatine in it, it's still Chinese creatine unless it says CreaPure. Also, for anti-aging, not only do we want the omega-3, we want the creatine, something called urolithin A. Urolithin A is kind of a novel new anti-aging approach. And you can buy urolithin A. It's relatively expensive. But in our new fit meal, we're putting a pomelo extract that's equivalent to 25 pomegranates. And this will stimulate urolithin A in your gut in the lion's share of people out there. So that's one of the reasons we're developing the fit meal, to help stimulate this urolithin A. All right, we're going to open up the phone lines. If you got a question, give us a call. Dr. Susan Summerton, myself, Dr. Lange, you're listening to Ask the Doctor. It is 813-282-8255. 8283. That is 813-282-8283. By the way, I'm pretty sure we're the longest running syndicated medically live talk show in the country for over 33 years. Now, the whole kicker is live. There's not a lot, but there's a few talk shows that have been on longer than us, but they're not live. So we're the longest running medical radio talk show in the country. All right, let's go back to talking about soil contamination. So soil contamination is really a significant issue all over the world. But let me tell you, do you know what country it's really a big problem? China. All right. Their agricultural lands are contaminated, lots of them. Chemical waste, pesticide, heavy metals. I mean, this is called soil pollution. And it's interesting. There's a scale that shows that the soil in China from 1980, it was actually pretty good. But in 2018, it wasn't so good anymore. It's filled with microplastics. And the microplastics in the croplands and the soil rose from 98 to 2,401 item per kilogram in the soil just over the last few years. From 98, which is very low, to 2,401. So there's a lot of microplastics. It's contaminated. And the rice is the worst. And that's why we had a whole show on telling people just to not eat a whole heck of a lot of rice. And my brother was one of them. He ate rice every day, breakfast, lunch, and supper. And, we used to think brown rice was the best, but white rice is even better. Eat the sushi grade rice or the basmati rice, soak it overnight, pour off the fluids, and then you can cook it. So we got to be very careful with all the rice that we're consuming. And that's why I tell people not to eat vegan proteins that have rice in them, because most of this, once again, is coming out of China. Our vegan protein is so pure. Remember, it comes from North America. It's been tested for heavy metals. It's been tested for lead, cadmium, and arsenic, and we essentially have none in it. So feel safe. Fortifeye does the due diligence. We don't accept anything that's not pure. So you can rest assured that our vegan super protein is as pure as you're going to buy anywhere in the world today. Dr. Summerton, I wanted to mention really quick before we still got time, something we don't talk enough about. We got a big dry eye practice, all right? And we treat everybody with dry eye, but we added the OptiLight to our dry eye practice recently, and that's IPL treatment. And you've done a lot, I've done a lot, and it's really working quite well for our dry eye resistant patients, isn't it?
It is, and I apologize. I want to circle back real quick to this lead and contaminants because I myself am kind of a self-study for that. I've had high levels of mercury, and so I'm probably one of the few that gets my heavy metals tested at my doctor's office about every 6 months. And I use these protein powders. I use the Fortifeye brand, and I'm putting them in my body every day, but I'm also getting heavy metal tested, and I never am having high levels of lead. So I know for sure that I'm not getting it and it's not coming out in my body. And I did want to clarify that I think the confusion with the creatine, we want you to take the form of creatine, creatine monohydrate. That's the type that's absorbable, but the brand is Crea Pure, and that tells you it's German made, it's pure, it's vegan, it's made under those strict manufacturing standards to make sure it's not contaminated. So hopefully that clarifies the contaminants and what form of creatine to make sure you're getting safe and getting the absorption that you're supposed to. And yes, definitely for dry eye, we're getting back to our Opti Light, the Intense Pulse Light, a definite top of the line treatment when you've tried everything and those dry eyes are still bothering you. It's a very nice aesthetic benefits and helps those meibomian glands with the dry eye. And I hear the music, so I'm going to let you chime in before we go.
All right. Thanks. And also for the low vision people out there, the new iDaptix i7 low vision device is now available at the Lange Eye Institute. I want to thank everybody for tuning in and listening to Ask the Doctors. I'm out of here. Have a great day. God bless you, and God bless America.